Slashed tires, a smashed windshield, threats, and a slew of racial slurs. That's what sent a Wisconsin man to federal prison, according to the Justice Department today. 45-year-old William McDonald was sentenced to 30 months in prison for intimidating and interfering with black residents. That's according to federal prosecutors. This happened at the beginning of March of 2021 in West Allis. That's a suburb of Milwaukee. McDonald allegedly sent the threats, including racial slurs, to multiple women multiple times, demanding they move out of their apartments. Well, an FBI special agent in charge said the sentence is, quote, a direct outcome of the unrelenting efforts and dedication of federal and local law enforcement officers and prosecutors to protect the rights of every Wisconsin citizen to live in a safe and protected environment free from race-based violence.